All right. Hey guys, welcome to our team call. Super excited to get to chat with you all today about Instagram and Instagram stories. I am going to start with some recognition and then we will get the ball rolling here. Let's hit present. All right. So we are going to go through a recognition today. I know it's outdated already because I made this yesterday. So if you want to update yourself in the chat, feel free. But as of the time I pulled this, the top Success Club point earner is Natalie with 10, then myself with 8, Grace with 6, Emmy with 4, Brittany Long, Sarah Jennings, Alicia Aquaviva, Allison Spate, all with 4, Bonnie Dodson, Valeria Hernandez, Lindsay Mayorga, Molly Bloom, Brittany Swanson, or Chasmer. It always pulls up as Swanson because that's what your name is in the system still. Nicole Sturgeon, Savannah Shepler, and Stephanie Rosin, all with 2. And then our recruiters, we have our top life changer recruiter, Alicia Aquaviva, with 2 new coaches. She's brand new coach, so awesome job, proud of you. Then we also have with 1 coach, Brittany Long, Valeria Hernandez, Sarah Jennings, Lindsay Mayorga, who's also brand new, Emmy Schneider Green, and Daniela Palermo, who's on the call. Congrats. And then myself I don't know, can't talk today, the top PV producer. And then our coach of the week is Brittany Long and Baby T. So congratulations to everyone who's on the board. There's still time to get your name up here and end the month strong. We are just getting started. So if you're not up here, get your butt up here, start helping people, changing lives, and just sharing what you're doing, and it'll happen for you too. And we're going to talk about how to do that tonight. So tonight's team call is going to be broken into 2 parts. The first part, we're going to talk about Instagram, like kind of aesthetically things and like posting tips and stuff like that. Because we haven't really taught like posting very much because we really want you guys to kind of come into your own. We're not going to tell you what to post. We're not going to tell you what to say. We're not going to tell you like how to explain things. Like that is something that we really want you to kind of like come into your own and figure out your own voice. We don't want to give you a voice. We want you to have a voice. But there are a couple things that we can share that I'll be talking about tonight to help you with your posting, like the way that you're posting, how you're posting, and the way it looks and all that kind of stuff, and also like who you're speaking to and all of that. And some of this will be a little bit of review if you were on the call that Alexa did a couple weeks ago. She was talking about finding your brand. But if you missed that call, most of this will be new to you. If you were on that call, this will be a great follow-up for you. And if you haven't seen that call, you may want to go back and watch that as well, because she dives a lot deeper into like figuring out your target market, which I'm not going to really talk about today. But a lot of the things that I am going to talk about today will kind of go back and touch on the things that she spoke about as well. And then the second half, I'm going to be talking about Instagram stories. So it's going to be broken up into 2 parts. So let's start with posting. So you're going to see a lot of these pictures and screenshots and feeds are coaches on our team that I wanted to kind of highlight for doing it right, and showing up and taking advice and implementing it. So the first topic that I want to talk about is good photo quality. Now, I chose these 2 specifically because I know for a fact that neither of these 2 coaches have fancy photography equipment, have giant ring lights, have like stuff that costs a lot of money to make their photos look really good. They have a phone and they all have a window and they're making that work, which is all you really need to have good quality photos. You can step outside, you can position yourself in front of a window as I am right now, just sitting here. You know, if I were to go over here in like the dark, although my house is pretty good lighting, you wouldn't be able to see me. I wouldn't take a picture over here. But if I just kind of move and I take a photo here, it's a big difference. So those coaches here that are posting these photos, I know for a fact they're either outside, which you can see in their photo, or they're positioning in front of a mirror or place that has good lighting, so that they can get high quality photos. You also probably noticed that the photos aren't blurry. The photos, they're not dark. They're very white and bright. You can tell what it is that you're looking at. You don't have to like, is that a dog or is that like a piece of pizza? Like, you know what it is when you're looking at it. So I just wanted to kind of point these 2 coaches out for doing a really good job with this and doing it in their own way. As you can see, each of these feeds kind of has its own unique way of expressing, you know, who they are and what they're talking about, but we can clearly see what it is that they're showing here. So this is a great example of good photo quality without needing fancy equipment. Just literally a phone, a window, and being outside is all you really need for that. Now, the other concept I want to really touch on super quick is to stick with 1 or 2 apps. Now, I know, like, if you go on my phone, I have like probably 25 photo apps, but I really only use 2 of them consistently, mostly 1. The only one that I use to edit my photos every single day is called Lightroom, and that is how I get a very consistent looking like feed, because I'm using a preset. So it basically takes my picture, fixes it so it looks the same as the other ones, and then I kind of tweak a couple things as I need to do. But that is all. Like, when I started trying to make my pictures look really great, like, too much sometimes is worse than like not doing anything at all. So sometimes we want to over edit our photos. We want to slap a million filters on them. We want to bring them up, like the intensity of the photo up, and like make it really sharp. And then you post it and it doesn't really look as nice as you would think it would. So less is more when it comes to editing photos, but definitely keeping a consistent look to your feed is very important. Like I said, Lightroom is really all that I ever use. The only time I use Snapseed is if I need certain things to kind of like pop out a little bit more, or if I need to remove something from the background of an image, which is really cool. So like if I were to take a picture of me right here and I didn't want this picture frame, I can't really, it's right here. If I didn't want this picture frame here, what I could do in Snapseed is go in there and use the healing tool and like draw a circle around it and it'll disappear. So if you're taking a picture on like a wall and maybe there's like a fire alarm behind you, or like something like a sign that you don't want there, you can kind of erase it. Or a great example is our photo from the cruise. We were all on a boat and there was like a Haitian man in the background of all of us. Like his head was just like kind of peeking out, like photobombing us. So I just kind of like whoop, 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 and got rid of him, and you wouldn't even know that he was in that picture. So that's really the only time I use Snapseed, when I have to do very like specific things. But for everyday usage, Lightroom is all that I use. Some other favorite apps that you may want to try are VSCO or ViscoCam, WordSwag, and Typorama. I only use those if I'm needing to put words on something, but I personally do not like words on my pictures in my feed. That's a personal choice. If you want to do that, you can, when it's done tastefully and in the right kind of way. If you're doing quotes, those are great apps to make your quotes all kind of look the same, which Ruby uses that one. I showed hers before with all the pink and blue. And I use those for my stories sometimes. If I want to make like really nice stories with words on them, I'll use that. But otherwise, I don't really use those too often. And I picked these 2 as examples because although they are both very consistent, like within their own self, they're both very different from each other. So just because we're saying like consistent feed doesn't mean they all have to be bright, or they all have to be like a little bit more like dusty, muted kind of looking. You decide what that look is that you want, what you want people to feel when they come to your page. And maybe the bright is you, and that's your personality. Maybe the lighter is you. Mine is a little bit more towards like what Brittany's looks like. It's a little bit lighter. But just because we say consistency doesn't mean everyone's has to look exactly the same. It just means consistency. I can't say that a million times. Within your own feed. Okay. So the other concept that we did not talk about, I don't think, or maybe we did on the other call, was different angles and poses. So you don't want to be the coach that has all selfies where like your face is all this close to the screen, because if that's the case, when you look at it as a whole, it's just your face, your face, your face. Oh, there's your face. Oh, there's another one of your face. It's like all your face. So you don't want that. You also don't want all pictures of you really, really far away where you're standing like your full body. You want to vary it up. I know that I talked to Sarah about this concept and she's been implementing it very well. And that's why I chose her account to show you guys this example of close up, far away, sitting down, standing up, like you and somebody else, you by yourself. You know, like different angles and poses make it look a lot better as a whole. And you also want to, like, when you post a photo, it's not just about that one photo. You know, you want to kind of think about, how does this fit into the piece of the puzzle that I have on my Instagram? So Brittany also does a great job with this, Brittany Long. You know, it's not just all pictures of her baby, although she probably would like it to be, and I would love that too. You know, she's got pictures of her with baby T, and then there's a picture of her baby, and then there's pictures of food, and then there's some that are her up really close and some that are her far away. And it just, also, she's a great example of a feed that blends very, very well. So this is something to kind of keep in mind when you're posting. If you feel like you're posting a lot of selfies, you know, set the timer on your phone, 10 seconds, step back, get into a pose, you know, and all of your pictures don't always have to be like in your workout clothes or like post-workout kind of stuff. Like, kind of think about more so like who you are as a whole and not just what that one aspect of you is. And these coaches do a really great job of showing that and showing different views and angles and depths and things like that as well. But it should be mostly you. I do have to say that. You don't want your page to be mostly food and then occasionally a picture of you, or like mostly group pictures of you with a lot of people and never a picture of you, because when people come to your page, they want to get to know you. They want to see you. So you should be the main focus of a majority of your posts. It's okay to post pictures of you and your family and you and your coaches and like you and your husband or fiance or whatever. That's great, because that's part of you as well. But you don't want all of your pictures to be that either, because it's not an account of like your family. It's, you're branding yourself as you. So you want to make sure that you show up as much as possible in your posts. Okay, this is another super important concept for those of you who are not doing this. You want to start implementing this immediately. I know this is something that I also spoke to Sarah about and a couple of my coaches. We were talking about this. I know Ruby's on this call and she's been implementing this. You want to have a transformation photo in your top 9. So when I say top 9, that basically just means the top 9 pictures when someone goes to your feed. And the reason for that is because we are health and wellness coaches. Like, that is what we are. That is what we do. So if we're not showing a transformation of some sort, it doesn't always have to be like this one up here where it's like full body and, you know, kind of like showing my like transformation with my program. You know, this one over here was just like, wow, my arm looks really freaking good in this picture. And this picture was a couple months ago and it didn't look that good. Like, it doesn't always have to be full body transformation, like same thing over and over. You want to have different types of transformation. So here it was my arms. Here again, it was like my shoulders. Here was my core. You know, I'm showing different transformations. So it's really important for you guys, especially if you're brand new on your journey, to take lots and lots of different before pictures, and so that you can take lots and lots of different after pictures. I wish this was something that I learned way back when I was getting started, to like take pictures of your arms, take pictures of your legs, like leg transformations. People want to see those too. So kind of get in the habit of doing that in different outfits and different things like that, so you have a lot of different transformations, so you don't have to use like the same old picture of your like, this was my before, which I have to do a lot of. But I've been getting better at kind of showing different types of transformations, so it's not always like my very first picture I ever took of myself when I did a Beachbody program 5 years ago and then me now. Like, you want to show transformations that are maybe like a month apart, a couple weeks apart, because we're always on our journey. So the reason why it's important to be in your top 9 though is because when someone comes to your account and they're looking at your account, they're not going to scroll like 15 times before they see a transformation picture and be like, oh, maybe she can help me. Like, nobody's going to go to your account and scroll that long before they find it. They're probably going to do like 1, 2, 3 and move on. So you don't want them to even have to scroll to see a transformation picture. You want them to see it, no matter if they're following you now or if they're following you a week from now. You want that photo to be in your top 9. So I have one here. This one is kind of one as well. And then I have one here. And kind of being aware of that helps you when you're planning your posts, helps you when you're like figuring out what pictures you want to use. It's really important to be showing your personal journey and showing it in your top 9 all the time. And that doesn't mean like every single picture should be that either. You don't want to have like 3 or 4 of them in your top 9. You know, you want to have like 1, and then another 9, you'll have 1, because you want to be able to show other parts of your life too. But it is important to be sharing that 100%. And I have noticed a difference since I have been doing that in people who are coming to me versus me going to people. Like, people are messaging me wanting information. People are messaging me asking about what I'm doing, because I'm showing up, and I'm showing up consistently on my journey, and I'm showing it in my top 9 always. I mean, I'm still inviting though. I do want to say I'm still going out and I'm still doing invites, and not like just waiting for the bees to come to me. But I have had more people reach out to me than before I was doing this. Okay, so this is another example from one of my new coaches, Daniela. I want you guys to talk to people, not at people. So the difference between talking to someone and talking at someone is, when you're talking at someone, it might sound something like this. You know, have you ever struggled with your weight? Have you ever wondered like how to lose weight? Well, let me share this with you. I've got this amazing shake. Like, it sounds like an advertisement. Like, you wouldn't talk to a person like that. They'd be like, what is wrong with you? You know, you want to write your post as if you're having a conversation. So in this post, she was talking about her anxiety, how it's been something that's been bothering her, and she shared something that helped her with that struggle, just as if she was sharing something with a friend. And the way that she wrote it is very natural. And then she did have a call to action at the end, which is great for people to reach out to her if they also need help. Like, that is a really awesome post, because she's speaking to her audience. She's speaking to a person. She's not like broadcasting something like an infomercial or, you know, with that cheesy voice. Like, she's not doing that. She's just having a regular old conversation with a friend. And that just so happens to be on Instagram. So I feel like the way that this post speaks as if she's speaking to a person, like one singular person, and not to a group of people. Because when I'm reading her post, like, I am one person. So when I'm reading a post, I want it to be speaking to me. I don't want it to be like it's speaking to me and all the other billions of people that are on Instagram as well. Like, it's not like, hey guys, or, you know, like, you people, or, you know, like, it's speaking to a singular person, which I think is so important. And she's being very authentic and real and conversational. So if you're thinking like, oh, well, I have to write a 5-paragraph essay like I learned in college and high school, you do not. This is totally different. This is a completely different medium. And posts that are like 5-paragraph essays with like an introduction and a body and like the 3 bullet points, like something like that, is read as if it's an essay. Like, you don't want your post to read as if you're like writing something for, you know, a newspaper or, you know, like a book, like reading a book or an essay about like world history. Like, you're not going to write that way. You want to write it so like someone can read it and think that, well, like, I just had a conversation with her, because I literally felt like that after I read this. You know, I felt like, oh, Daniela just told me like she was struggling with her anxiety, and this is what she did to help. Like, that's what I felt like after I read this post. Not like, oh, I just read this article about anxiety and this is what I learned. You know, it's a little bit different feeling. And I do have another example of another coach of mine who does a really good job at this as well. She's also pretty brand new. Her name is Amber. She is really great at speaking to her audience and just speaking, like just talking, and not like advertising, and not making it sound like an ad and spammy. Like, it's literally just like a conversation that, you know, you'd have with a friend. And she's actually having a baby, which is what this post was about. Now she's able to really talk about it, and she's really great at like her stories, and her posts are all kind of now adding a lot of value for other women who are pregnant. You know, she's talking about her journey very openly and authentically. She has been pregnant before. She has a little girl right now, Holly. So she does know what being pregnant is like. And she's been talking about her second experience as compared to her first time. And just really, like, I'm learning a lot. Like, I've never had a baby before, and I'm learning about like nipple pads and like all these other fun things that I'm going to get to use someday. Kind of like freaking out about it, but it's great because she's adding value. Like, other women who are pregnant right now are going to relate to that. other women who have had babies are going to relate to that. And she's doing a really good job of just really speaking to her audience through her posts and doing so in a way that feels real, authentic, and not like an advertisement for like, I don't know, a mop or whatever. Like it's something that's very conversational, and she's using emojis and she's just being herself, which I think is so, so important in your posts. Okay, and another really great tip that I've been using a lot lately is Instagram TV. So if you are gonna post a video from now on, if you are gonna post a video, whether it's a, 30-second workout video or anything, any kind of video, if you're gonna post a video, post it as an Instagram TV. But even more so if it's longer than a minute. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you're posting videos on your feed, right now Instagram is favoring Instagram TV. So if I post it as an Instagram TV or I post it as a video, it's gonna be on my feed either way. So I might as well post it as an Instagram TV. Now with that, I don't put like a billion hashtags on it because Instagram is like promoting those for me. It's pushing them out into people's feeds who are following me. It's pushing them out into like Instagram TV, like the little hub. It's doing all of that for me, which is great. So I did a little experiment and I posted a video to my feed. This was like before, a little bit further down than the screenshot, but I posted a video to my feed and I got like maybe 200 views on it and I got maybe like 30 something likes on it. And I posted an Instagram TV video. I get over 1,000 views on it and I have close to 200 plus likes on the same video, like same type of video, an exercise video. So what that tells me is it makes more sense to post it as an Instagram TV video than it is to post it as a regular one. Now, Ruby did this recently. She just posted a video. She was talking about like a detox drink that she was making, detox water, and she didn't post it as a regular video, and she posted it as an Instagram TV video. And I'm sure she's noticed that she has more views on that video. I mean, she just posted it. I just saw it before the call. But this is something that I had given her advice on, and she implemented, which is what coachable coaches do. Which is amazing, and I'm proud of you for doing that. But she posted that video as an Instagram TV video, and I saw it. It popped up in my feed. But the other video that she posted as a regular video a couple weeks ago, I never saw it until I went to her account and was looking for it. So I really think that right now is a great time to start doing them and getting in the habit of doing them. I have been doing Instagram TV videos. I've been like recapping my workouts for like the whole week because I'm doing 80-day obsession. So every Sunday I do a collaborative, like all of my workouts for the week. And a lot of people have been watching those and messaging me about those. I do a collaborative, like a weekly dance video, which I didn't do one this week. But I've been doing that for the past couple of weeks. I did a kind of like something with this shampoo. This company sent me free shampoo that when I had pink hair, I used the pink one, but now that it's brown, they sent me like a brown one to kind of pull the ugly yellow out. And I did a before and after video with that, and that's what this one is. So I shared that. So what's really cool about it is in Instagram TV, you can put a link, which I just found this out. So when you're posting your Instagram TV video, I'll show you. I will stop sharing my screen so I'm a little bit larger, and you can see my phone. So when you're posting an Instagram TV video, can everyone see me and my screen? Am I like the big one? Okay. At the top, it looks like a TV with like a little wiggly thing through it next to your messages. You're gonna click there, and then you'll be in Instagram TV. And then you're gonna click the plus sign at the top next to the magnifying glass. What's that guy's name? David Spade? Yeah, I don't know. He's on there. You're going to click the plus sign, and then it'll take you to your camera roll. So if you have a video that you already recorded, next to David Spade, you're going to click on that video. So let's just say, for example, it has to be longer than 15 seconds. So we'll do just freaking videos. We'll just do this one because it's 30 seconds for now. Wait, that's not what it is. Hold on. Here, this one's like 3 minutes and whatever. So like this is the video, let's say, that I want to post for my Instagram TV video. So I clicked on the video, and then I'm going to hit next. and it'll show me this screen here. At the bottom, it'll say add from camera roll. So you can click on that, and instead of it just randomly selecting a cover photo, you can select what you want the cover photo to be. So here's a tip. If you want it to match your feed, be sure to edit that photo so it matches your feed before you pick it as your cover photo, or else it won't match. And I did that, and it looked like crap. So I had to delete it and do it again. And you don't want to do that. So make sure that the photo that you choose, you've already kind of edited it so it looks nice. Obviously, I wouldn't use this picture because it has nothing to do with my video, but for example's sake, it's a nice picture of me, so I picked that one. I usually just take a screenshot of some part of the video, crop it so it doesn't have like the top, like the little buttons and stuff, and then I edit that picture, and that's what I use if it's a workout video or whatever. And then you click next, and then in the title part, you're gonna put what you want to show up underneath of your video. So that when it shows up in your feed and when it shows up on your page, it's gonna have a little bit of a description. It can't be very long. It doesn't allow you to put a lot in there. So you really kind of have to be strategic. You kind of want it to be not clickbaity, but like let people know what this video is so that they watch it. So that's what you're gonna put in the title. And then in the description, you can put a link. So if you want to put a link to your bootcamp form, you can do that. If you want to put a link to your coach form, you can do that. And it won't show as clickable as you're typing it, but once it's posted, it's clickable. So that's kind of a really cool like workaround if you want to get your link into your post, because you can't really do it on a regular post, but you can if it's an Instagram TV, which is kind of neat. So the other important thing you want to do is post a preview. You want to make sure that that is turned on because that's what's going to put it in your feed. And then if you want to link it to your Facebook, you can do that. I just typically do because why not? So you can do that. Now I'll show you one of mine so you can see where that link would be for example's sake. So here, let me see if I put one in here. No, I didn't put one in that one. I think I did it on this one. Yeah, so this is that video, okay? So this was on my feed and I clicked on it, and I'm gonna click on the bottom where it says view on Instagram TV. So when people are viewing this video, I mean, I don't know how many people know to click the arrow. You may have to kind of instruct them to do that in your story. But if you click this arrow here, it'll pull down whatever you put in your description. And when you click on the link, it'll take them directly to whatever that link is for. So this one was for my bootcamp application because I was talking about my bootcamp starting soon. So grab your spot kind of thing. So that was kind of a cool workaround to get your link in there if you wanted to do that. I was pretty excited when I found that out myself. So I figured that would be something that would be helpful. Okay, so also what you want to do with your Instagram stories or TV, I mean, you can share them to your stories just like you would share any other post. And you can get a swipe up. So if you don't have 10,000 followers, typically you don't have a swipe up. But for Instagram TV, they don't care how many followers you have. They want people to watch Instagram TV. So you can do a swipe up to an Instagram TV. And the way that you would do that, you would click on the whatever's in your feed. So the video in your feed, you would click the little airplane like you would to share it to your story. Click add to story. And then you can do it that way so that they can just click on it and view it. But if you didn't want to do it that way and you wanted to have like what I did for that particular video, like a preview of the video and then said swipe up to see the rest, or you can put a picture, which I'll show later, and swipe up to see the rest. All you have to do is just do like you would post a regular story. So I'm gonna put a picture in there. I have a lot of videos. I'll just do this picture because it's nothing. So let's say I'd put this picture in there. You see that little link at the top? It looks like two links, like interlocked links. If you click on that, you can link an Instagram TV video. That's all you're allowed to link, but it's super helpful if you want people to see something specific that you posted on your Instagram TV. So you'd click on whatever video, hit done, And then it doesn't show anything, but it'll say like connected or linked. It doesn't show on your end. So when you watch your own story, you're not going to see the swipe up. But if somebody else watches your story, they will. So don't think like, oh, it didn't work. I thought that at first too, but then I logged into my dog's Instagram and went to mine and saw that it was there to swipe up. So that's another really cool tip for Instagram TV. I think that's it. Okay, yeah, so this is the most important thing of all. You need to show up at least once every single day on Instagram. Like, I don't care if you're having a bad day. I don't care, if like you're like, you have to post at least one time a day on Instagram for a couple of reasons. Number one, consistency in showing up is important. If people are going to join you and they're going to follow you, they want to see that you are consistent with yourself so that they know that you are going to be consistent for them. Also, if you're not posting, like your stuff isn't going to keep showing up in people's feeds every single day. So if you go like a week and you don't post anything, or you go 3 or 4 days and you don't post anything, like people may have forgotten about you, or maybe like they didn't see anything popping up from you. If you're on your stories, that's great, but that's totally different. I think stories and Instagram is totally, it's two separate things in my eyes. I know it's all Instagram, yes, but stories and the strategy with stories is completely different than the strategies with posts. And I actually was doing some research and I found that a study that was done asked people, where are you viewing the most? And actually now people are viewing the feed more than they're viewing stories. I don't know why or what that change was. Maybe like the excitement kind of wore off from them, but people are viewing your feed. So it's just as important to be showing up daily in your feed as it is to be showing up in your stories. So that's where planning ahead really helps, having ideas ahead of time, having pictures ahead of time, just kind of having an idea of what you want to say, because it's super important to show up. Like you can't not show up for 5 days and then show up on Instagram and expect kind of the same type of response that you would have gotten if you were showing up daily. So that's super important. All right, now we're gonna switch gears and talk about Instagram stories, some super quick tips. I'm gonna show you some examples, and then we'll be done. So number one, you wanna keep your stories routine. What I mean by routine is you wanna find something that you can do daily that when other people watch your stories, they know it's you. So for example, when like I dance every day with my Energize. I know I'm not the only coach who does that. Lots of coaches do that. But that's something that I do. Sometimes I can convince my husband to dance with me. Sometimes I can't. But I show up and I do that every day. And if like I didn't do it like once this week, and someone messaged me and they're like, why didn't you dance today? Like people are watching, people want to, like they're waiting for that regular thing to show up. Another example of something that I do every day is my workout videos. When I share my workout videos, especially since I started 80 Day Obsession, I haven't just been sharing like my workout video. I've been sharing it, but it's got like a frame around it and it has the day and like the number. So it's like day 40 of 80 was today. And they all are kind of unique and or uniform. Like they all go together. So like if someone's watching my story, because what happens is when people watch stories, they don't just go to your page and watch your story and then, oh, let's see, let me go to somebody else's page and watch their story. Like they're watching stories like they're watching like Friends on Netflix. They're watching one, then they're watching the next episode, then they're watching the next episode, then they're watching the next episode. Half the time when I watch stories, I'm like, I don't even know who the hell I'm watching. Like, who is this? And then I have to look and like go to their account and say, oh, okay. Because not everyone, like it's not, if it's their face, I know who they are. But like if it's other things like, oh, like they're out and they're fishing, or like, oh, it's a baby. Like, I don't know whose baby that is. So I don't know who that person is. But if I see like, for example, I know that Natalie does her videos where she's got like 3 or 4 videos of her workout going on at the same time. And Brittany does that as well. Like I know if I'm going through a bunch of stories and that pops up, I'm like, oh, I'm on Natalie's story. Oh, I'm on Brittany's story. Like I know that without having to be like, okay, who am I watching right now? Because they have something very unique that they do, and they do it consistently. So whatever that is for you, maybe it's a frame around your picture, maybe it's a certain type of font that you use, maybe it's a certain color scheme, maybe it's a you know, you do something every Tuesday, you know, some kind of recipe thing you want to share. Like, or I know some of the coaches on our team that I've seen, because I was going through people's stories to kind of get like stuff to talk about for this call as well. Ruby does a like what's in your shake kind of thing, and each day she's sharing something that's in her shake. I know Valeria does that. I know Alicia does that. So pick something or maybe a couple of things that you want to do and get in the habit of doing them. In addition to what's on the BAT tracker that we all know and love, and you know, it's our BFF, this thing. This gives you a lot of great tips of what to post in your story. But there's some other things that I'm going to talk about today that you can start implementing as well. So the other quick tip is use polls, stickers, questions, quizzes, music, lyrics, countdowns, any feature that Instagram releases, use it. Find a way to make it work for you and use it, because they want you to use their stuff. You know, they want you to be using the new stuff. So anyone who's using those things, I don't know if it affects your views and if people see your stuff more frequently, but I'd like to think it does. So for example, today, you know, the quiz, what I do when I sometimes share my dance video or any kind of video that I have music in that is not music from Instagram, because obviously if it's from Instagram, it says the name of the song. I put like, who sings this? And I was dancing to Switch today, and I said, who sings this? Fresh Prince, Bel-Air, Will Smith, Jaden Smith. And people voted, and obviously it's Will Smith. You know, I don't think anybody got it wrong. It's kind of an obvious answer, but you want it to be an obvious answer so people will vote on it. Like, you don't, because if I go to a thing and someone's like, what's my favorite food? I'm like, I don't know, and I don't want to be wrong, so I'm not going to vote. You know, you want it to be an obvious, stark answer so people are like, yes, I got it right. I know the answer, and they're going to vote. Maybe that's not everyone's personality, but like, I don't like to answer the question if I think I'm going to be wrong. I want to be right. So I think that my, what I've been kind of playing around with it, and the ones that are like very obvious, I get more people that answer those than the ones that are like, I really have no idea. Because people just don't like to be wrong. So that's something that you might want to start doing as well. Any kind of feature they use, whether it's the slidey thing, the GIF images, like whatever, make sure that you're using them. And you can also share other people's things too. So like if you see a quote that you really like, I know that Amber does a lot of this. She shares other like mommy blog things, because that's what her target market is, like mommy, like pregnancy and that. She shares a lot of stuff like that. You can do that as well. So the other thing that I want everyone to start doing more of is speaking directly to the camera every single day, but talk to one person. Don't say like, hey, InstaFam, or like, hey guys. Like, I am very guilty of that. Sometimes I'll say, hey guys, and I'm like, no, it's one person that I'm talking to, and I'll re-record it. Sometimes I'll forget and I won't re-record it. But you want to be talking to one person just like you are in your post. You want to do that in your stories. And Emmy does a really great job of speaking to her camera every day. It's not just like, here's my food, here's my workout, here's my cat. Like, there's all of that, but it's also her speaking to camera every day, which is important. Because that's how people are going to get to know your personality. That's how people are going to get to know you. You know, I learn a lot more about people when they're talking, and I can like connect with them on a deeper level than I can just going to their feed, which is 9 times out of 10 just like highlight reels and super beautiful pictures. But if you go to my stories, I look like this half the time, and I have like pajamas, shorts on, and like whatever. And that's how people are going to get to know you. But you do want to speak to camera, but speak to one person. I know Ruby's been implementing this a lot as well. She's been scared to, but she's been doing it. I'm going to keep picking on her because she's one of the pictures, and I only see 5 of you at a time up here. So I'll have to keep scrolling this so I can shout some more of you guys out. But she's just like the one I see right there. So definitely make sure you're talking to the camera. And I'm going to give you guys some really great tips on what you can talk about, because that's usually the thing, like, okay, well, what the hell am I supposed to say? I'll give you some tips on that as well. And then you also want to vary it up. You don't want it to be like all of you talking to the camera, and you don't want it to be all like 15 boomerangs in a row, or like all photos. You want to have like photo, boomerang, I'm speaking for a couple of slides. Okay, here's another photo, here's another boomerang. Like, you want to kind of vary it up, because the way the human brain works is if it's the same thing over and over and over again, they're skipping. They're like, I'm bored. Like, it needs to have a little bit of difference, like breaks between talking, so that it's not all the same stuff. And you do want to like add value and ask for advice and share quotes and things like that, which I'm going to share kind of some ways you can do that exactly. So one thing that you can start doing, you can do this tomorrow, you can ask people what they want to hear. So this is something that I did last month. I said, okay, I'm going to be going on here. I'm going to be talking on my story a little later. I'm going to be talking about one of these two topics, either plant-based protein or my morning routine. Let me know below by using the poll, which one is more interesting to you? Which one do you want to hear? And I let people vote on the poll for like a couple hours. And then later that night, I went on my story and I shared my morning routine because that is what people wanted to hear. So that way I know that I'm not just like talking out of my butt and whatever the heck I want to say. Like, I'm sharing value for people and it's what they want to hear. And also, if they voted on this poll and I'm like, I'm going to talk about this later, they're probably going to come back later to see me talk about it because they wanted to hear that. So giving people two options, think of something that's kind of in your target market, something that, you know, whether you're like building muscle and you want to talk about like how to do that or whatever it is. I mean, like if you're pregnant, you want to talk about that kind of stuff, or wedding planning or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be related to your business to talk about it on your story. You want people to know you for more than just health and wellness. You want to be adding value in many ways. So whether you want to share a hair mask, I know Daniela likes to do that, or a lot of other different things. Pick two things, give people the option. This is something every single person on this call can implement tomorrow. And then at the end of the day, towards the end of the day, talk about that topic, whichever one won. What I did was I posted, okay, like you guys asked for it. This is what won. So if people forgot why I'm talking about this topic, and then I went and talked about it. Why isn't it changing? Okay, there we go. Another thing you want to do is you want to share stories. So when you're posting stuff on your Instagram story, your goal is to get DMs. Like, you want people to message you, because what that shows Instagram is that these things that are being shared in the story are engaging. These things that people are sharing on these stories are interesting, and people are like connecting with this person because of what they're sharing. So you want to share a story. I got a lot of DMs about the snake story that I was sharing. We were taking pictures outside and a snake just kind of wanted to photobomb me and scared the crap out of me. That I got a lot. It was funny because it's a story that is funny. Maybe somebody could relate to that. It was hilarious. And people messaged me about the snake story, telling me their snake stories, or telling me like, oh, I have snakes. Like, why are you afraid of snakes or whatever? And the other thing is you want to add value. So this tip, I've had lots more people than you would ever imagine message me and thank me for sharing that if you want to cook beans, you should probably soak them first, because I was not doing this. And I was like, why am I so gassy all the time? Why am I so gassy all the time? And then I read online that if you soak your beans, then you're less likely to have gas when you eat them. So I shared that because that was helpful for me. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, thank you. Like, I can eat beans now and I don't have like gassy stomach anymore. Thank you. So anything that you learn, anything that's helpful for you, share it. If you think it's interesting and it helps you, it'll help other people too. The other thing is you want to ask for help, and that should say ask, not ASL. Ask people to DM you. So when you're talking, instead of just talking, you want to tell people, you want to invite people into the conversation with you. So telling them like, let me know your thoughts on this, you know, send me a DM and let me know your thoughts. Or has this ever happened to you? DM me and let me know. Like, I've been reading a lot about the Enneagram. So I've been asking people like, have you learned about this? Do you know about this? Like, if you are, like, what number are you on the Enneagram? And people are messaging me, and I'm having conversations with people about the Enneagram. It's not about health and fitness, but it doesn't always have to be. Like, we're connecting with people. That's what we're here to do. That's what stories are for. You can ask people, has this ever happened to you? Like, can you relate? Let me know. Like, I was having trouble cooking tofu, and I got millions of people helping me, telling me how to cook my tofu now, because I had no idea. It just was not coming out good. I know Emmy shared some tips with me as well. But I had random people that I'm like, oh, like, I didn't even know that you ate tofu. Cool. Thanks for the tips. And I had a conversation with these people. Because people want to help. Like, people want to offer advice. People want to tell you how to do things. People want to give you suggestions. But if you're not asking for it, sometimes people aren't going to be like, oh, like, this is how you should cook your tofu. Like, if I didn't ask, a lot of people aren't that kind of person that's like, no, you're not doing it right. This is how you're supposed to do it. Like, some people will be that way, but most people won't unless they're asked to share. So ask for advice. And then what I was doing is anyone, like I was asking them, like, do you agree with me? Anyone who was agreeing with me, I was taking screenshots and sharing them on my story. And I'm like, so glad I'm not the only one who thinks this. Or, you know, this person who messaged me happened to be someone who told me for over and over again, she didn't have the time to work out. She didn't have money to invest in her health. And now she's like 15 pounds down in my challenge group. And I was talking about in this video of, you know, how people, you know, they make excuses for why they can't do things and all of that. And she commented like, amen. So I definitely shared that. And I was like, look, this is someone who was totally disagreed with me like months ago, and now she is in my group and she's down 15 pounds and she's feeling better than ever. So I took a screenshot and I shared that to show that I'm not the only person who feels this way. Other people do as well. Other things you can do are take objections like money, time, self-doubt, whatever is like what you keep hearing a lot of, and talk about it, but don't be like, you think you don't have time, you do, you know, like not like that, but like sharing a story, sharing your story of like how you made it work on a tight schedule. Using the feel, felt, found method. You know, I feel you where you're coming from, and sharing your story in your part, like this is why, you know, I was in grad school and I had all these other commitments, blah, blah, blah. But what I found was like these workouts really saved me from not skipping my workout, because I had no excuse. When I came home, it was 30 minutes, I could get it done. So like sharing it that way is a lot nicer. It's a lot more conversational and relatable than just like, well, like you do have time, so you should just do it anyway. You know, if you want to share your story, and stories are a great place to do that. And then ask people for a response. To ask them like, you know, like asking at the end, like, do you see where I'm coming from? Like, is there what's holding you back? Like, you know, asking them to in any way engage with you. So that is another thing that you can do on your stories as well. Something else you can do, and these are all things I've done clearly because these are all screenshots of my actual archive. Take people behind the scenes. So what that does not mean is to sit on your story every day and say, okay, so today I'm going to go do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then I have to go here, and then I have to go there. Like, that's not what taking people behind the scenes is. That's just reciting your to-do list to people. Totally different. Don't tell people what you're going to do. Show people what you're going to do. It's more interesting to watch someone doing something than watching someone talking about what they're going to do. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So something that you can do is you can pick, tomorrow is Wednesday, you can do a work with me Wednesday. Or you can do what I did. I did a tag along Tuesday. You can do Mondays with me, like whatever you want to do. I couldn't think of anything else for the other days. Or follow me Friday, whatever you want to do. But basically what I did this day was I started from my morning all the way through my work day, and I was sharing. So this is the first thing I'm doing. I talked about my personal development. I talked about how I don't look at my phone until X, Y, and Z is done. You know, I shared an excerpt from my PD. Then I talked about my challenge group, and I showed myself logging into my challenge group. I showed my workout. I showed a call that I was on that day. Then I showed my timer. I'm like, I'm setting a timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to send some invites for the next 20 minutes. And then I did that. And then I shared the next activity. I'm going to do this now. And then I did that. And I was sharing my whole day. I wasn't like just talking about it. I was showing people that. And this is something great to do. This is not something that you want to do every single day though, because it would be very repetitive and very boring, I think. But picking one day a week and doing this, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day you want to do, and being consistent about it is really helpful. I did Tuesdays because we have team call on Tuesdays. You know, we have a lot of other things to show other than just like normal work day. I have some mentorship calls on Tuesdays, so that's why I did Tuesdays. But doing this will show people the work and the behind the scenes stuff without just saying like, this is what I'm going to do today, blah, 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 blah. And then like, well, I didn't see you do it. I just heard you talk about it. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different. So this is something you can start implementing as well. I'm almost done. And another thing you want to do on your stories is recognize and share, whether that's really beautiful messages that you get from your clients for thanking you, for helping them. You know, thank you so much for being so awesome and staying consistent and getting me into this program. Like, that's a text message that I got from a current challenge group member. And I was like, this is why I follow up. She told me no, she told me no every month for 3 months. You know what I mean? So, and then like sharing, you know, one of my clients, she sent me a picture of herself in the dressing room and she was so excited of how she felt in her dress. Like that made me cry, number one. But I want to share that with other people because I know there's other people out there who are going to feel the emotion that Rachel felt in the dressing room. Maybe they go in the dressing room and they don't feel that way and they want to feel that way. And I'm sharing like, this is what is happening. Like, this is why I'm showing up every day for these people. You know, I shared this one because she was talking about the superfoods. If anyone's having objections about the superfoods and someone messages me how their energy levels are up, you know I'm going to share that one because I want people to see, like, I'm not just making this up. I'm not the only one who's benefiting from these superfoods. Other people are too, and here's the proof for that. And something you might want to do with these screenshots too is save them in your phone in like an album. So you have them for a day where you ever feel like, oh, I feel like crap today, or like, oh, I suck as a coach. No, you don't. You've got all these people who are thanking you and shouting you from the rooftops, and they're so grateful for you. I have a whole album of messages on my phone that whenever I feel like a crappy coach, I go and read them. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm great. And then something else that you also want to share besides DMs from clients and things like that is if you're on a call, like right now, share a team call. Take a screenshot of this team call, share it on your story. You know, if you're on a mentorship call with your coach and you do a boomerang like we do on the calls that I do with my girls, share that boomerang or whatever on your story. Anything, share it all, successes. Even if your coach isn't the person that, you know, like Brittany Long, she's on our team. She hit diamond. I'm not Brittany's coach, but I'm freaking proud of her. So I shared it on my story. And people who are watching your stories are not going to be like, oh, well, you're not Brittany's coach. Like, why are you celebrating her? Nobody's going to know. Like, nobody's going to know that you don't have a diamond coach on your team because nobody even knows outside of Beachbody what any of that means. So shout out your teammates. If someone hits diamond, shout them out. Like, so proud of my girl Brittany for hitting diamond. Woohoo! Like, awesome. Because you're showing that our team and our organization is growing and having success, whether it's your PS coach or your coach's coach. Like, don't worry about it. Just share it, celebrate it. That's why we have those yay threads. That's why we have team pages where we share all of that stuff. So you can take that. Nobody's going to be mad at you for posting about a rank advancement within our team. Nobody's going to message you and say, why did you recognize me? You're not my coach. Like, nobody's going to say that. And if they are, like, they don't belong on this team because that's a really shitty attitude to have. So that's not going to happen. And then something else that I've been doing pretty consistently as well is every week, you know, I used to just post this in my challenge group, but now I'm posting it in my story and I'm making it like the size of a story so that I can share my top 25 challengers of the week, the top challenger of the week. And I put like however many shakes and workouts, which nobody really knows what that means except the people in the group, but it's showing all of these people are getting their workouts done. These are my top 25. Like, I have over 100 and something people in my group, but these are the top 25. And it makes those people feel great about themselves for being in my story. A lot of them actually share it in their own story, which is great advertising for me if they're not a coach, and great for them if they are a coach because they're showing people that they're also on a journey. But they love it. Like, they really love seeing themselves being recognized in my story. So this is something that has been really awesome, that I think we should start sharing more stuff like that in our story. And then we've got a bonus. Bonus round. We had 2 little bonus tips that I just threw in here last minute that I wanted to share. So I figured Autumn bonus, if you don't do her workout, you wouldn't get it. But she always does bonus rounds. So I figured 2 bonus tips. I kind of talked about the one already, the swipe up with the Instagram TV. So like you can put a photo here and have it linked so people can swipe up and watch the whole video. It's great to also share important posts to your story. So if you post something that you like, a coaching opportunity post, you can share that in your story. But something else that's really great too is creating urgency for your challenge groups by making this cute little like 15 spots. And every time somebody signs up, putting their name in there and tagging them so that it'll show people like spaces are filling up. You're not just like making it up. They actually are. And like, these are the people who are joining my group and getting on track with their health and wellness. Like, these are the girls. So what's great about that is not only does it create urgency for your group, because other people seeing it are going to be like, oh shit, there's only 2 spots left. I better make a decision now. What it's also doing, it's reinforcing to that person who said they're in that they're in. Like you're tagged, you're in. Whether they complete the share a cart, I don't do it. I don't wait. I'm like, okay, I sent you the share a cart. You're in, and then I tag them and I post it, and they're like, I guess I'm in. I guess I really am in. My name is on there. So that is something that will help you create a sense of urgency if you've got people who are, maybe waiting around to sign up or whatever. Having that as a way to like shit or get off the pot kind of mentality there. Sorry if there's children. I tried to do really good without saying bad words today. I think I did okay. There are children, but they're in delis right now, so they can't hear. But that's all that I have. So does anyone have any questions or anything? I saw the chat, but for whatever reason, when I have it on full, it doesn't let me open the chat. Yeah, Work Wednesday. That's so cute. I'll be looking out for it. Yep. Any questions? If anyone has a question, you can unmute yourself and just ask. I know the Bachelorette starts in 2 minutes, so I won't keep you too long. Okay. Nothing? Are these all things that we feel comfortable, like we can turn around and just start doing these things tomorrow? Yeah,
that was really, really helpful. Just wanted to say.
That was helpful. Yeah, that was the goal. Like, I didn't want it to be something that you're like, oh, well, now I have to take like 20 days to make a content plan and figure out what to say. Like, I wanted it to be something that you can say, okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow. Like, I can implement. And you're not going to be able to implement everything, obviously, in a day. Just kind of pick what you want to do 1 or 2 things at a time, and then, eventually you'll be able to do more. But just for right now, maybe pick 1 or 2 things that you want to implement and implement those things, and then go on from there. And if you do have questions and you can't think of them right now, you can always ask me afterwards. So, are we good? I tried to talk so fast because I wanted to get it all in, and I have no voice now. So, we good?
Super helpful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm going to take my own advice and take a boomerang of our team call, so don't go anywhere. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I will tag as many people as it allows me to, and you guys can share it. All right?
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.